Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to see you this morning. I haven't seen much of y'all since last year. We're glad to get back, everything lined back up for year 2017. It's hard to believe, I know, but a lot of folks going back to work yesterday, and the rest of them folks going back to work today unless you're retired or don't have a job. And I fit in one of those categories, but I definitely still have a job, it seems like. But this year is going to be a great year. We're starting our 11th year on Panhandle Outdoors, and thanks to you, we've been rolling and very optimistic about this year and looking forward to some really neat things we're going to do and share with you folks, and so we all can enjoy the great outdoors here in Florida Panhandle. High today 69, low tonight 47, water temperature 66. I got a story to tell you about water temperature. I won't get into it right now, but I'll tell you later. River readings, that rain we had last couple of days, it's high. The Apalachicola is 9.1, and you see it's going up. And the Choctawhatchee Caryville is a 13.4. And we just, boy, they had, north of us had just tremendous amount of rain. So we'll be reaping the benefits from it in the next couple of days on both our river readings. And I'm sure there'll be continue to rise for a little while, but it's high. And be careful. You know, we had a guy drown the other day, just got caught in some flood water over there in Okaloosa County, or actually Walton County, and one of those feeder creeks. And boy, when we talk about flash flood, it gets up there fast. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Foster Army Funeral Home. 926 is low tide, and 656 is high tide. And we'll talk more about the tides tomorrow. Marine forecast coming out of north about 5 to 10. Got a little cooling trend coming. Be cool for the weekend. Nice weekend to get back out in the woods. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. And our first guest, the first part of the year, 2017, Captain Rick.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and it's applicable and appropriate that you would be here because you've been with us for all 11 years.
Yep. And
it's awesome, and we've been through a lot of boats and all, and a lot of dream boats and all kinds of situations. Absolutely. And you still plugging away.
Yep. Yep. My goal is to retire somewhere in the next 2 years.
Okay.
You know, it'd be August the 20th of 2019. I've been doing this 50 years.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's long enough.
Well, I did it part-time for the first 24 years. When I would go to sea, I was sailing back then, 90 on, 90 off, and the 90 days I was off, I was working with my dad.
Yeah.
And when I got to the point I realized my kids were growing up and I wasn't going to get to see it, and I'd been out there a long time, so I said, you know, and they decommissioned the ship that I was running for the Navy as a research ship, and they asked me if I wanted the next one. I said, you know, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go home. And I came home and started doing this full-time in 92.
That was a good decision.
Yeah, it was. It's worked out real well.
Good deal. All right, what we have, we got all kind of pictures. You can imagine how they accumulated over the Christmas holidays. So I won't get to show all of them today. So you folks are sending pictures. If you don't get shown today, we're going to get them the next couple of days, okay? But we're just going to start at random. Well, not at random. Try to put them in order of the times and all. But this first picture right here, this is great fishing. You remember that weather during Christmas, Rick, was just really warm weather. Wow. So here's Kyle Pridgeon fishing in shorts and a t-shirt in December. But what a great action shot, fishing the creeks. Now, isn't that a great shot? Kyle Pridgeon, okay? Now here's look at this close now. You can actually, Tess Randall Jolly took this. She's our friend in Opa, an amazing photographer. And you can see why she's one of the most decorated photographers in America because of what she'll just take the little things, but you can see where we're talking about rubs on a tree. When we get when a big old buck rubs a tree, look at those grooves and all along that tree. Now she lives up there in Alabama, so I'm sure this up there pretty close to her land. She and her husband are avid outdoorsmen, but what a great picture. We got just a wide conglomeration of pictures. Okay, Bill Angevine won that rod and reel, and look, he gave it to his great niece. Was excited to get a pink, green rod and reel from that I've already left. She got it today. She will send me a picture when she catches her first fish. That's passing it on. Good job, Bill Angevine. Good job there. Daryl Calhoun finally Garrett's in a picture of his dad, Garrett, and his brother. And all, everybody in the family got one but Daryl. But Daryl finally got one up there in Alabama. Daryl Calhoun. Here's a good picture here. David Murphy's. There was some good bass fishing going on during the holidays.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some nice bass right there.
Yep.
David. Okay, brother and sister. Now, isn't that cool?
Yep.
I've shown them before. Jennifer Barnett and Jarrett Barnett. They have gotten really good at hunting ducks, and their dad. The dad goes with them sometimes, but this is really neat to see a brother and sister. But they're both in their 20s, and they just enjoy getting out duck hunting in old Cypress Pond, and they usually really successful. And Jennifer was our former Outdoor Club president.
Huh.
Flounder biting. How about the Patronus family?
Whoa.
These Patronuses, they fish. Not only they cook good food, but they fish a lot. And this is just a great little trip they had. I'm going to show you. Here's Taylor Jones and Anna Patronus, and that's some nice flounder. They caught these flounder. Remember we talked about them moving right outside the pass. And I'm going to go by that picture. They caught. They really don't do it justice. They had a lot more fish than that. Had a boat full of fish.
That's good eating fish.
Excellent eating there. Okay, now here's this one is the Panama City fishing. I got that from Danny Bates. Yeah. Sheephead at the jetties. Good right there. Okay, we're going to come back to this one. Matt Spencer. Matt had shoulder surgery and he ended up going ahead. Wasn't supposed to do anything on the left shoulder, and actually ended up getting shot this one left-handed. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice buck. Flounder off the pier. James Wesky, his little boy, they really, one of those cold days off the pier, you can see they're all wrapped up, but fishing off the county pier there.
Yeah.
Good job, James Wesky. Mandy Warren, she sent Mandy and her little daughter in a tree stand. I've got a series, I want to tell you this, I got a series of pictures, Rick, and it used to be a dad and son would go to these tree stands and sit up, but now lately I'm getting a lot of good pictures of these moms and daughters going to tree stand.
Yep.
And Mandy sent this one, she and her baby girl, and then I got another one right away, so I got like a set of about 3 or 4, but these moms are going out there, and the kids are all different ages, they're sitting with them too, and this is really good. So here's Mandy and her little girl, okay? All right, this is Nancy Tilghman and her kid. Good job, Nancy. Nancy Andrew Tilghman, and here's this one right here, Casey Lynn Jones. Look at that little baby in the back. They're all three of them in the tree stand. Now, I don't think the baby's going to find much deer, but what a great way to get them out. And it was cold too. What a great way to get them. That was three different sets of moms taking their kids out in the tree stand. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Getting caught up on all this stuff. You know, when we get behind in Christmas break, it takes a couple of days to get caught up and all. So, well, one thing, what did Santa Claus bring you?
Oh, I got me a new .357 pistol.
Okay, that's not your first one, is it?
I got a few more.
Rick's got it. I went over there to see him during Christmas, and we always have a great visit when we go over there and visit with him and all. And he's got, he's just really nice place and all you have over there.
Yeah.
You've been in St. Andrew a long time, haven't you?
Since when I moved back here, I came back in 1985, January. And been right in that same house since then. Right there.
That's a good location.
Yeah, it is.
Good location.
Good neighbors, good neighborhood.
Yep. All right, here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to, remember we talked about names. Now, we've got some names here we're going to add, but I don't want you to visually see me throw away. This is all the names from last year, okay? But let's see. We're going to throw them all. I think we're going to throw them. Should have done this ahead of time. But, all right. 2016 is gone, and we had a lot of winners in 2016. All right, now there it is. It's an empty jar, okay? We're starting off always optimistic about 2017, and y'all already been sending in names. So I want to do this individually, so make sure you hear your name called out. So Shannon Burton, Youngstown. I'm going to put Billy Joe Newsom, Youngstown. Oh, Billy Joe. Richard Turner. Okay, Debbie Harris, Panama City Beach. Nat Harris, Panama City Beach. And we're going to shake them up. Mark Jones, Defuniac Springs. Renita White, Defuniac Springs. Michael White, Defuniac Springs. Betty McAreese, Panama City Beach. Candy McAreese, Panama City Beach. Randy McAreese, Panama City Beach. Gene Bigger, Deer Point Lake. Bob Bigger, Deer Point Lakes. They won some last year. All right, we got a few more. Caitlin Carroll, Westville. Good folks up there in Westville. Pam Carroll, Westville. Y'all look up a buddy of mine named Mike West and see if y'all see him. We went to school together. He's a singer. Chris Carroll, Westville. Terry Richards, Southport. My neighbor up there in Southport. Lynn Richards. Craig Trawick from Ozark, Alabama. Bill Angevine, I don't know if we're going to let him win anything this year or not. And Gloria Turner, Panama City Beach. That's some good loyal viewers right there. So look at here. That's the first start. And then we're going to be drawing. Today's Wednesday. We're going to be drawing Friday. So you're going to have a good chance if you get one, if you know, of winning. You know, the odds of winning is going to be real good. All right. So we're going to set that over here now. And one of the things we talked about, it's hard to believe when I say this. I was putting the show together last night. I looked on the calendar. Here it is, January the 4th. And in 69 days will be March the 15th, and the Spanish mackerel will be here. So Spanish mackerel going to be here in 69 days. But before then, a lot of good stuff going on. We've got the rut in our area, in the area I hunt, is really coming on about 7 or 8 days. It's going to be around the middle of January when it hits really strong around our area. So I've had some good deer pictures in. I'll show you some more tomorrow. But also dove and quail is really good, especially quail. We like the quail hunt in February, and the quail. We're planting the birds and all, but there's some wild birds that are coming along now. I've talked to some people in the know. And they're doing better than they were about 10 years ago getting quail. Remember, we used to see quail all the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and they all kind of.
You know where Causeway goes down to Bay Point?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, of course, there wasn't anything there where Port Royal is now.
Mm-hmm.
And Port Royal, we used to go up there and hunt quail, dove, and a lot. Me and Wade Tesser and Lewis Tesser and
You know, really, the experts tell us, when I say experts, I'm talking about, Game and Fish Commission, these biologists with the Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and also the universities. They tell us that basically the predators have come in, two things, not much row cropping,
right.
planting stuff in rows like they used to, which is natural food, but the predators have gotten so, with the coyotes coming in,
yep.
and that's really hurt them, and they really have to sort of protect them, so it's... but quail hunting, working with a dog, and I saw some good pictures of some retrievers during the holidays. There were some nice retrievers.
I wonder, feral hogs eat a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and I know they affect some other animals. I just wonder how much they affect the bird, but all the rooting around they do and stuff. I mean,
That's a good point. We talked, Paul Stokes up there in Alpha, Walter was home, and they went up there on a hog hunt during the Christmas holidays, and Paul has not taken as many hogs this past year as he did in previous years, but it's only because he hadn't gone as much. But there's still a lot of wild hogs up there that particular night. That was last week. They got three that night. But you're right. They get in there, they root around, and they get everything.
Yep.
And so there are a lot more of them. See, what happened, they used to be kept under control. The old timers, like my granddad and all them, they would trap them.
Yep.
And they would trap them, and then they'd take them home and fatten them up.
Well, another thing I've noticed, and I've asked the question a few times, I don't have an answer, I've asked the question. When you used to, you drive down the road, especially these back roads, like going down Blocks and Cutoff down there, going to St. Mark's and all, you'd see rattlesnakes or some kind of snake run over in the road. Mm-hmm. You don't see that much anymore. Why? Where are the snakes?
Well, again, the predators and all, when they're very vulnerable when they're small.
Well, a hog will eat a snake.
Yes, sir.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. So, again, so will coyotes and all.
Yeah.
And they dig a lot.
Yep.
They dig a lot. So it's, our nature is changing, and it's up to us to make sure we conserve areas that they can thrive in and produce in, and it's very important.
I used to hunt a lot out west in Idaho when I was younger, and had the time off and so on. And I used to hunt with the Blackfoot Indians out there. I know the chief. He and I were in the service together. And the nice part about their way of hunting is they will go through and decide how many elk or deer or whatever they need. And they will do a 4-day hunt. and you go out there for 4 days. Well, if you kill what's required in 30 minutes, hunt's over.
There
Let's
you
go
go.
home.
Yeah.
Now, if you go out there and you don't, you're going to stay the whole 4 days and try. But they only kill what they need, and they don't have a hunting season, as they say. They pick out what they need, and that's it, and they leave the others alone. They don't go out there and try to kill 150 or whatever it is, you know. And that's they're just very good managers of their lands
their resources
and their resources.
Yeah, and that's why we wish everybody had that mindset. And you just don't kill for the sake of killing. And if you're going to kill something, you're going to eat it.
I went up to a friend's up there at Clarksville and to shoot outdoors. He's got a long range, and I was zeroing some of my rifles. And we had actually deer run out on the range, and he said, "You want a deer?" I said, "No, I'm not going to shoot that deer because I might hit a target practice today." And I said, I'm not hunting, and I'm not going to bother that deer. And we had to wait about 10 minutes for him to get off the range, so we didn't hit him, with a ricochet or a wild shot. And they just went off just outside of where we were shooting and still grazing.
And that goes to show you, gunshots and all don't scare them. And necessarily, if they're used to hearing them. I met up at a firing range in Bay County. They got them. You see the tracks up there.
Yeah.
Let's take our final break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about some boats. Welcome back. Glad you're with us today. We're looking at our fishing game times first. Looking at 4:37 to 6:37 this morning, and from 5:02 to 7:02 this evening. So those times are really going to be important as we get into hunting season. And Rick, we're going to look at some boats here. We're talking about boats because you're our boat expert, and this is Boat US that listed the top 10 boats. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you the top 5 boats. In their opinion, these people, make a living off boats and all, and they're all different brands. But we're just going to look at the top 5 boats and tell us.
That's a 31 Bertram.
35 Bertram.
Yeah.
Now this is out of most of our price range, but this is a well-built boat, and this is something that's really, really pretty. So, well, that's an expensive boat, isn't it, Rick?
Oh yes, and if you go down fish down in Costa Rica, that's the most popular fishing boat in Costa Rica.
Okay, that's a dream boat. Okay, number 2 boat they picked out was a Boston whaler, a 28-foot whaler, and of course they're legendary as far as their reputation and all.
Yep.
And that's a good, sturdy. I mean, you call that a pretty good, sturdy boat, wouldn't you?
Yes, that's the number 1 boat in the outboard class, and whaler.
Yeah.
They build with Airx foam. It's a closed cell foam.
Closed cell foam
with a liner and an exterior hull, and you can cut them up, and they'll still.
All right. This is a 32-foot Everglades. Now these are expensive boats.
Yes,
really
they
expensive
are.
botes.
Yes, they are.
Everglades, they're made in Florida, I believe.
And they are, and that's a $250,000 boat right there.
Okay, so that's out of our price range. But if you win the lottery and all, that's something you want to. That might be the kind of boat you want. I might get that kind of boat if I won the lottery. Okay, but anyway, we're going to work our way on to. And this is a Grady White, and Grady White just their reputation.
They have a fantastic reputation. One of the things I like about the Grady is they have what they call a variable dead rise hull, which if some of you people are airborne and jumped out of airplanes, and you know how when you hit the ground you roll, do what they call PLF, parachute landing fall, and it spreads the impact. Well, that variable dead rise, no 2 points in the boat is flat against the wave like that, so that when they go back in the water, they kind of roll in and they don't pound. They're real good rough water boats. Okay,
number 5, we're going. How about a Key West? This is a 21-foot Key West boat. Our sponsor, Bubba Hart. I love a Key West boat. I bought
They're
one.
not super expensive.
That's the thing about it.
That's right.
You were just
And
talking
they're
about
good
you were talking about a $250,000 boats, all these others. This is like a $40,000 boat.
That's right. And they're really good bay boats.
Excellent bay boat. This is a 21-footer. I just bought a 17-footer, smaller than this, because I don't need one this big just for Gail and I. So I'm going to be coming out with it. But this is this made a top 5, and that's a pretty stiff competition.
Yes, it is.
Talking about Boston Whaler, Grady White, all these folks, and here comes the Key West.
Well, a lot of it's quality control.
Yeah, and they do a good job. So I want to congratulate Bubba Hart, being a part of the Key West and being on one of our sponsors and all. Run by and check out that boat. That is a well-built boat, and for your money, I mean, you can't do any better. What are some things, I know a lot of people this spring, we're only a couple months away, we got a big boat show coming up in, I want to say late March out at the beach. A big boat show coming up. What are some, if you're going to look for a boat, what are some, other than price, what are some big things you want to look for?
Well, kind of just look for little flaws, because that tells you a lot. The care and quality control. I know one time I went back when compact sailboats came out. They even went to the trouble to make sure all of the screws were turned exactly the same way. Well, when you get that anal retentive about, detail.
Yes.
You're building quality stuff, and you look for the little flaws around the edges. That'll tell you a lot about how well they're building the boats and so on. Another thing, not all, but some manufacturers build their boats too light. And one of the easiest ways, stretch your hand out and lay it flat on the hull, and reach out the other hand and smack the hull with your fist. If you can feel it in the left hand, you don't have enough layup in the schedule on glass, in my opinion. The boat's very flexible, and the boat has to move some, but you don't want it flexing that much, because it's like when you were a kid taking a clothes hanger and you keep doing that, you'll break something.
Yeah.
And the same thing with fiberglass is a good material to build a boat out of, but you got to build it strong enough. And
that's a good point right there. Especially if you're buying a used boat too, you want to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of boats.
And the other thing I tell people, they say, "Well, would you survey a brand new boat?" I said, "Yes, I would." And the reason being, all these boats are built by man. Well, man-made things, they miss stuff sometimes in quality control, whatever. And they're much more apt to fix a thing before they get the check than after. They have a tendency sometimes to get amnesia.
That's true. All right, Rick, we've got to close it out. Good point. Good idea there. Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Always glad to have Rick, our boat expert here, Captain Rick Corley. Thank you all so much for watching Panhandle Outdoors. See y'all again tomorrow. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.